Hey guys, this is Kirk from Go Make Music, and today I'm going to walk you through the 6-step process for mastering your tracks. Now, this is perfect if you're working on singles. I'm not going to go through doing an entire album, but I'm just going to introduce you to the process of mastering. Now, full disclosure, mastering engineers are skilled. They have done this a lot. That's all they do is listen to music and master it, and they know what they're doing, and they have taste, and it's really important. That being said, you need to understand the process for yourself so that you can give them good mixes, so that you can understand what's going to happen when things are mastered, and you can experiment with this. And if you like what you do, you can put out your own masters. You can develop this skill. All right, let's dive in. And I will say, if you're going to send stuff to a mastering engineer later, then don't have all this stuff on there. Maybe you could have some of the compression and some of the EQ, but leave off that limiter. Let them do that. The first step in preparing to master, and I would say this is even a huge first step in preparing to mix, is headroom. Now, headroom is the difference between the loudest part of your song and digital zero. Digital zero is that zero right there. So let's listen to the track and see what kind of headroom we're working with. All right, so you can see when the snare's hitting, I'm like right to the edge, negative 0.5. So I have half a dB between the loudest part of my song and digital zero. That's not a lot of headroom to work with, okay? So this would be like me mixing myself into a corner, and a lot of us have done this. And here's the cardinal sin of what we do to try to fix this. I'll show you. We do this. We turn down our master bus in order to fix the issue of not having headroom. Now, this is a big problem because what you're doing is you're overloading this bus and then you're turning it down. So you're not really solving the problem. You're just putting an overloaded signal into a bus that you're turning down. Now, if it's just a half a dB, 2 dBs, whatever, you can kind of fudge it, but I want you to get in the habit of keeping this mix bus, boom, at 0. Just keep it normalized, all right? And then the things that you're feeding into it need to come down until your headroom is between -8 and -6 dB. So you're going to have a lot of room to play with here. And do this early on if you can, before you start getting into other buses and automation, especially, because you can get yourself into a lot of trouble. So do this early on in your mix. Give yourself the headroom. Here's how you would do it. Say you got all your tracks up and you're already almost peaking, right? Instead of pulling the mix bus down, you would grab all of your tracks that aren't the mix bus and then push play and adjust your volume. All right, and so what I was doing, I was just kind of resetting this peak meter to see where I was at, and we're pretty close. All right. Here we go. Now we got our mix bus. It's feeling pretty good. I'm between -6, -8. I'm in the ballpark. So now I have plenty of room right here, and that's going to let us set up the next step. Okay, so just to recap, get a good rough balance on all the tracks during the loudest part of the song. Make sure your loudest hits, usually strong elements like kicks, snares, vocals, bass, those are usually going to be the ones that are peaking the most. And you want to keep those between -8 and -6. The sooner you do this, the better. All right. So a couple things. You can follow along with the full course over at gomakemusic.org. Go to the free resources and click on Mastering Explained. I also have a checklist that you can grab and print out, put it on your desk when you're doing mastering. And just as an action step, before you get ready for the next video, why don't you go pull up one of your old mixes or make a new beat or arrange some loops and get a good balance with plenty of headroom to get you ready for the next step.